Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are back at Walk-Ons on another beautiful Thursday evening. The weather is great, and that sounds a little loud. I'm going to get somebody out of my ear there somehow. Let's see who we've got there. I love producing. Where's Brett when I need him? There we go. I think Nick was too loud. That's probably the problem. But
another new guy. Let's go.
Another big night here at Walk-Ons. I am Doug Gann alongside of Head Coach Thomas Bachman, and I don't know why I'm the only one that's got their name down at the bottom of it.
Hey, when you're the man, you're the man.
I don't know about that.
Just be the man.
It ain't. You got to own it, don't you?
That's right. Just be the man.
Of course, Nick Magnano joins us now in week 4, and I've finally learned how to say his name, so I'm excited about that. We talked about it last week on the show. We're going to recap it. It was that big game Friday night against the Chiefs of Natchitoches Central. Trojans jumped out, and Coach Bachman asked me off the air. He said, "Did y'all expect that?" And I was like, and there's not many times that I've been speechless, Coach, but that was certainly one of them. I was that way in the booth on Friday night before the 6-minute water break when it's 22-0. But well done.
Yeah, the kids were ready to go. Had a great week of practice. There was an edge about them. There was a preparation that they had gone through, and they were ready to go to work. And obviously, what the score turns out to be and, how it's all going to unfold, you don't necessarily know. But you could sense that our kids were really ready to play and really, geared up, locked in, focused to go play the game the right way. And that's the biggest thing when you turn on the film is, how are you competing, the little small things. Everybody looks at the scoreboard, and a lot of times that tells the story, but, how are we competing? And I was really, really proud. There was a lot of things that we were able to cut up and show them on Monday afternoon of, this is what we're about and this is how we're going to play the game. We're going to play it with extreme effort. We're going to play it as physical as we possibly can. That's how you're successful in this game.
I have such a tremendous amount of respect for Natchitoches Central head coach Jess Curtis. And Brett McCormick in the post game came up and he had some really good questions when he interviewed you and put that out on X, and he does it with Jess. And Jess was a little speechless too. He's like, they came out and he said, that's a really good Ash team. He said, don't judge our team based on that because they came in and just got us. And I paraphrase that. But to get that kind of respect from your opponent in there, that's worth some.
Yeah, obviously Jess has seen a lot of them through the years with the quality of competition and the program that he built at Manny. So,
right.
Certainly appreciate, any positive words that are said, because I also know that he's a truth teller too. He calls it the way that he sees it. And, and so, I think that's the thing that's really important about it is that I see him as a truth teller. So for him to say those things, that he really believes it. So, obviously appreciative of that, and, wish them well. I'm anxious to see, turning it around is a hard thing, and getting people to change what they believe about themselves is the hardest, thing when you're trying to flip it. And he certainly will be that guy that does it because, that's what he's about.
Coming up tonight, we're going to have our Southern Air Cool Play of the Game. You'll hear about that and our Quibidos Player of the Week. We announced him on Sunday night on our show that we like to call Coach Speak. Make sure you come out and tune in and see that. You were able to watch a little bit of that.
I did. I caught a little bit of it there on when y'all were streaming on YouTube, and pulled it up on the TV and sat back and said, let me watch some of this right here.
There you go. The football games must have been really boring that were on Sunday afternoon.
It's funny. I honestly don't watch much professional football.
Look,
Sunday is such a big work day for us, and the coaches have it on in the office. But I can tell you I can tell you very little about who won. Now, I pay a little bit closer to college football because, I enjoy watching some of those things. The schematic, how people are attacking people, what thing people are doing, on a given Saturday.
Right.
Enjoy following some of that stuff, seeing where you can possibly steal a thing or two and get it implemented, the following week. So I watch a lot more college football than I do NFL.
Well, the Trojans were able to get off the schneid this week, 0-2 rolling into it, pick up the big win, have an 0-3 East Ascension team, the Spartans. Don't let that fool you, that record, the teams. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But I want to say congratulations, of course, to you. But Nick finally gets a win under his belt with his keys to the game. They were spot on. Tell them a little bit about what your keys to the game were.
Well, the thing that impressed me the most was we were talking about just the energy and being able to keep calm, use that energy to your advantage, and very few penalties. I mean, maybe one in the first half. I mean, no undisciplined plays. I mean, they were just dialed in. Of course, you can talk about X and O's, in a little bit, but that was one of them. The other one was just giving Feaster a little bit of time because they were aggressive. They were aggressive in the two first games that I watched, that they came off the edge. The number 0 was very aggressive. They blitzed a lot. They stunted with the linebackers. And then the other thing was just, like I said, your defense taking advantage of those opportunities with that energy from that crowd, and that crowd was phenomenal.
Two things, as you talk about penalties, and we had the hold where JT gets the touchdown called back and puts us in 3rd and long. We go from 3rd and short and 3rd and long, and I think it's one of the better balls that Ty's thrown where he hits
for sure.
Jimmy out of the backfield on the wheel route was dropped that thing in there. So to overcome that 3rd and long was really, really good. And really the only other thing that stands out to me right now, trying to remember last week, and you move on and you got all this new stuff with this new team you're preparing for in your mind. But, is where we bust the protection that leads to the interception because he's getting hit. And, we got a touchdown there if we don't bust the protection.
So one of the plays early in the game, of course, ended up being our cool play of the game, and we'll go to that. Southern, I tell you what, let's take our first break of the evening, and we'll do that. When we come back, we will get into we'll try to, and if I can find these. Boy, it's producing by yourself. Anyway, we'll be right back right at that. Look, you've got time to come out here. We've got a good
Jimmy,
crowd.
There he is, right there,
that's
Jimmy
right.
and JT.
Yep, we'll talk to them. JT, another big night. I mean, he's just a junior and has grown so much as we've watched him play.
Yep,
Look,
both of them are juniors.
We'll get into that a little bit more. We're going to come back after this from Wallace Eye Associates. You're watching the Thomas Bachman Show live from Walk-Ons on a beautiful Thursday night right here on 446 Sports.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Time for our red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. It's hot out there, and we want to cool you down with some great savings on your new AC unit. Right now, you could save on a new energy-saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Plus a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Just need a repair? We got you covered too, with $50 off any repair backed by a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
We are back live here at Walk-Ons, and of course filling up. Got a couple of empty tables out here, but the players, Coach, are starting to make their way out, and they have always supported. And it's so great to see the fan, where it's grown, and it's not because of anything other than just what a program that it's becoming, and the guys are having fun. Of course, couldn't do any of this without Sadler's Towing. You see them up in that corner over there. That's a little difficult for me to do. Sadler's Towing there. They're the sponsor of that ticker that you see across the bottom at the gate. See, it's a little bit, you got to look over there. It's a little bit crazy. So it's hard to believe that. I think you're sitting, no, you are sitting over there. Okay. Anyway, just great. We couldn't do it without Janelle and Sadler and Sadler's Towing. Of course, the folks here at Walk On. But somebody that helps us, Coach, with the stats throughout is Brett McCormick. And, you know, we've talked about him a little bit off air.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see you with some stats up. You know, I'm a huge fan of Brett, the way he promotes and engaged. And, you know, just I can't tell him how much. I don't know if he's listening or not. He's probably at some game trying to promote some high school kids. And
he's got 2 games. He's got a Thursday and a Friday game.
He's out there. And, I mean, that stuff goes a long way. I mean, he's trying to promote our kids here locally and get them on the state level and you know, get their names out there. And I certainly am very appreciative for the coverage that he gives, because without that, you know, I mean, it just doesn't reach as far. And it helps you grow programs, and it helps you get the word out, and it creates interest. And I think he works really, really hard at it, and I think it's important to him. And I know that I appreciate, you know, all that he's done through the years, you know, that's out in front of people, and then stuff that you know that he's doing behind the scenes too.
He goes back and watches all 5 of our games and then goes and stats each one of them off of that. And so that we're able to have these stats on here.
He's awesome.
And dadgum, I owe him the biggest apology, because everybody got the memo that we were going back to our normal start time of 5 o'clock on Sunday, except I didn't have Brett included in there. And he rolls in there about 5:40. He's early, time to eat a little bit beforehand. And I was like, man, we're wrapping up, but get over here and sit down. And we had a great show with Brett in there. And speaking of the stats, that's a good one. Ty throwing the ball well, and I think we've seen him throw the ball. We talked about it after week 1 that, and Nick, you said this too, get a couple of weeks under his belt and let that timing get there. I think we missed a few passes in week 1 that we complete here in week 4 that would have made a big difference in that Karen Crow trip.
We're going to find out tomorrow night. No,
you're right about that.
No, you can see the progression, and, you know, just with reps and time and more work you get with the guys that you're working with, you know, the better you get. And, you know, I certainly see the progression and the confidence. And last week was big, and I think a lot of him. You know, I was telling him this afternoon, you know, I recognize the competitor that you are, and I recognize the work ethic that you have. And, you know, when you have those 2 things, you're always going to give yourself a chance.
What progression, Nick, have you seen out of him from week 1 to week 3?
Well, the thing that I really like about him, he doesn't put the ball in danger. I mean, he has 2 interceptions. The one this past Friday night when he was getting hit whenever he made, you know, and we talked about that, you know.
And then the other one's on 4th down where
he has to make a play.
You just throw it up. I mean, if you take a sack, it's the same thing. So, you know, both of those, you know, both of those are not something that you necessarily lay in his lap.
Right. And he's getting used to his offensive line. He's getting used to his running backs. He's getting used, I mean, on the screenplay, you know, just the speed that, you know, that JT runs it, how he likes it, where he wants the ball. You know, you have Jalen out there. You have, you know, Mingo out there. You have, you know, Duncan out there on the outside. Washington, I think him and Washington on that stop route, I mean, that was the go-to for the first, you know, 2 weeks. And then now you guys can work off of that.
Yep, no doubt. Timing and repetition, you know, certainly, you know, you improve on. And you know, I think that confidence is growing with every one of those reps and every game that we play. And certainly would like to see more of it tomorrow night.
Absolutely. One of the things that we will keep an eye on tomorrow night is our Southern Air Heating and Cooling cool play of the game. And this week, it was early in the ball game, and we made the comment, look, this could be it right here. And, Coach, we're going to watch it a couple of times, but take it through this one. This was that little bit of a reverse, I guess, on there. So take us through this as we switch
just
over.
A little reverse off the jet sweep. You know, this is actually something that we've used in the past, something that Coach Kirkendall and Coach Donahoe have come up with. I think they were the first ones to say, hey, this would be a good way to do it, and ran it last year. It's just maybe a different presentation, a different formation or something from the past, but we run a lot. Don't know if you were to break down a percentage of, hey, Mingo goes in this type of motion. Hey, they're jet, 99% of the time. So it's good to have some wrinkles off the things that are staples for you.
It's eerily similar to that radio play that I drew up on the napkin.
It is. That
5,
is the
6
other.
years
That
ago.
is the other inspiration behind it.
And so I don't know
Great
about that.
minds think alike, right?
There you have
also
it.
had the turf field in mind, and
It's funny. We were watching film. I don't know if I said this last week or not. Watching film one day after we'd been on the turf, and I said, "Hey, what was the best thing about yesterday's practice? What was the best looking thing?" And, kids are naming off this player,
right.
this catch, or this whatever. I said, "The turf, boys, the turf." Just all the lines are there, and it's allowed us to be a whole lot more efficient.
Okay, it's not a show until I turn my chair and
Absolutely.
get into
Now
this.
we're having
now
it.
we're getting
Let's do
somewhere.
it.
Look, I used to watch Coach Cordero a lot out at LSUA, and he'd coach, and then he'd take that jacket off and throw it down. I was like, all right, we're about
Now
to play
we're
now.
playing.
So once the chair is turned, you know that we're there. We instant replayed the ribbon cutting from that night, and we had the binoculars on you when they were waiting, and it's getting close to game time, and you ready to cut this thing and get on with the game. I said, Coach Thomas Bachman is not happy about this.
No, I was just anxious. I was ready for the kids to go play. Just those ceremonies are great and they're needed, and saying thank you. I mean, but yes, the longer we sit out there, I'm watching the clock. Like, come on, I don't know what we're doing. Like, let's go.
Look, we'll go back to the broadcast. I'll cut it up and send that to you. And we instant replayed when it got cut and all this. But it was about a 10-minute delay while you were sitting there.
Kim's standing next to me. She's like, just relax. Just relax. She's talking to me the whole time. It's
Nick,
fine.
what did I
But
tell
it
you
was
in the
good.
booth?
Had good conversations with, there was a lot of people down there. And a lot of people have worked hard and, certainly wanted to take the time to acknowledge and say thank you to the community, but also stress to the boys that Friday afternoon during pregame meal. You won't be appreciative. How do you show saying you're appreciative is one thing. Showing it by how you play, showing
That's
it by
right.
how you act in the community, showing it by the life that you lead is ultimately what we want to be about. And it does
That's so
start
good.
tonight when we get between the white lines.
Right.
There's a product we want to produce, and there's a way
Right.
we want to represent Alexandria with the way that we play. And so I was certainly proud of the kids in that regard.
I never saw a game get started so quick after a ceremony than that. And I was telling them up there, Nick.
Well, that's the thing, Coach. Everything for Coach is a routine. And you're dealing with, 14 to 18-year-old
Yep.
kids, and you have that routine going, and then they're sitting there and they're watching. I mean, you have them ready to go, and they're watching. They're
Yep.
watching. Of course, it may have worked against Natchitoches Central in there, too, because they were sitting over there as well.
It's high school football. There's always things that the kids were ready to play. I don't know. Maybe we need to cut a ribbon all the time. But
just do it.
I think that was more leading up to it. I was ready to get going just based on just the sense from the kids that they were ready to go play.
Two people that are ready to play at all times on there. Tell me a little bit about Bodie and Channing.
Do a great job, don't
Yeah,
they? Do
yeah.
a great job. That that was huge for momentum and to put some doubt in their mind. And Bodie's been really good at that. Channing's been really good at that. We've talked about in the future. I need to look up some things in the rule book, make sure we're within the rules of the things that we want to do. But,
Right.
They're both weapons, and they both can do some things with the football. And so we're going to see how we can get creative and stay aggressive. And see how we can get both of them involved and keep people on their heels.
First touchdown's 51 seconds into the game, I guess. The second one shortly thereafter. And you get the 2-point conversion, I guess, on the first one. So it's
Right.
8-0. Then it's 15-0. You're 22-0 before the break. And a game is never over by any means, especially when this competitive era that it is. But you guys never let on. And 5 minutes to go in the first half, and the clock's running at that point. You get to that magic 41 point, 42 points.
42 points.
And anybody that looks at it and say, oh, they're trying to run the score up, doesn't understand the way the game is played, because you're trying to get to that point and get that clock going.
I never listened to much of that anyway. So, there's only so many snaps and so many opportunities, and we're going to continue to play. I mean, that's what we've always done. I mean, you can't preach, don't look at the scoreboard, and then constantly look at the scoreboard. And, we step between the white lines. We want to let the kids go play, and certainly not trying to, that's not what it's about. We're trying to execute the play that's called. We're trying to execute the play, the next play, just right here in front of you. I don't know if any of y'all have seen a halftime interview with Kirby Smart. I guess they had, you've seen it where, they're down 14-3
yes.
at halftime.
Yes.
And, rather than get all over his kids, which, sometimes that's needed, but it wasn't. He just talked about, hey, we're going to win
Yep.
at one moment at a time. He basically told them exactly what they're going to do. And
they went out and did it.
The kids went out and did it in the second half. But, we're going to win one moment at a time. What's the first moment? Kickoff return. Let's go win that. And then the first play of offense. And then we're just going to win at one moment, and we're going to get our butt back in this locker room. We're going to be celebrating, and we're going to be figuring out how we get better. But it was a really cool thing. So you can apply that not just when you're behind. You can apply it when you're ahead, too. Let's play the next play. Let's win the moment. Let's don't look at the scoreboard. Make the most of this play. Make the most of this play. And that's all we've ever tried to do. And, some of that stuff can, you get sloppy when you start, or at least we have through the years when, you're calling play, all right, let's get this guy some touches, and certainly want to do that because kids, that
Right.
have busted their butt. Here's your opportunity to try and get them some balls and try and get them some touches and try and get them some reps. But it can lead to some sloppiness when you're just out there, trying to call a successful play and trying to execute a successful play, whatever happens to happen, whoever gets the ball. When you're taking that approach, a lot of times you can stay sharp. And I felt like the kids did that all the way up through, a little disappointed in the opening drive of the third quarter. Had a couple of mistakes, with some things, especially, on third down, and had a tip ball there on, I don't know whether it was first down. I'm trying to think back on. We had Jalen open for another big play there to start the second half. And those situations are tough with these new rules. There's not a whole lot of time when that clock starts to run. And
You got to get up there and get going.
Yeah. So the kids you're trying to get in the game, the thing that's it is not as easy as people think. You're like, man, we might get two possessions here with depending on how things go. So
How big of a difference, and we're going to talk to Coach Free, and we talked to him last week as well, and it's Nick's favorite segment. That offensive line has really stood up and have taken over. And you talk about Cam there at center and Hunter, and then when Bain steps up, and your other offensive line guys, and I hate to start calling one or two of them because
you got Pearl at left tackle, you got Jacoby at left guard, Cam at center, Brett at right guard, and you got Hunter Rivette at right tackle, and then you throw in Grayson and Tanner Townsend as the two tight ends when we get in some different set. And
look, if we're calling their names
with
enough,
a lot of experience.
If we're calling their name enough to know their names, that means bad things are happening on there. And so, we'll talk to Coach Free again.
It's a group that needs to continue to progress. You certainly you want to turn on the film and see the growth. And I tell this story all the time. I can remember, in 2020 when we ended up being a really great offensive line. By the time I can remember a week before we started fall camp, Bird tore his ACL. And I can remember going out to practice and, we're inside and we're running through things and just thinking to myself, I can't believe we're fixing to have to go play with, I don't think some of these kids are ready to go play
this. And they turned out pretty good.
Very, very frustrated. And I remember it's trying to motivate myself in my mind after one play, just walking around saying, keep coaching, just keep coaching, just keep coaching. And by the end, I don't know that we've had some good ones through the year. That certainly was one of the great ones. So the same thing with these kids all played last year.
Right.
Now here we are, and, it'd be nice to turn on the, when the season's all said and done, go back and turn on tape and say, boy, look at how far we came.
And look, from week 1 to week 3, even from the scrimmage, the jamboree, it's gotten better every week. Somebody that does the same thing, 6 is tearing it up. JT Lindsay is just it just continues.
Getting better with every carry.
When there's a seam, when there's
he can run.
He's always when he hits that hole, he gone.
Yep, he's always been able to do that, and got a lot of time with him. Made some runs this weekend inside, pointing it out. Like, everybody dismisses this, but and I'm talking about in film. Talking
Right.
about people don't understand that. There's times where you can watch film and you can see them that they're beginning to understand what's happening in front of them. There's more to it than run to the right, run to the left.
Right.
They're beginning to understand, okay, what's the structure of the defense and how are they fixing to fit this based on this, and hey, this guy fits it. He's fixing to come off here, and the understanding of what's going on.
That's right.
With the different fronts that are presented and how we're gonna block and handle some of those structures. That's when we're really improving the subtle things that look like a run to the right or run to the left, but when the kids are beginning to grasp those finer details of a little bit of next level stuff is really fun for me. And there was one particular running inside where we probably only got 6 yards, but you can see that he's beginning to understand how that's going to happen.
Right.
He squeezes back, and rather than it be a 2-yard run, it's a 6-yard run. And those are the things that are going to make us successful in the long run.
6-yard runs will get you a long way. We're going to take a break. When we come back, thankfully, Coach Free is in the house because we'll be able to get him down there and visit. Is he still down there?
I don't know. People are coming in left and right.
Look, it is. So 'cause it makes our segment of Inside the Trenches with Coach Nick go a little bit better.
I see Coach OJ down
I
there.
haven't seen Coach Free yet.
Oh, did he not? I thought he came in and went. All right, well,
Coach Free, we talking about you.
Right, and Mercer, where are you at too? I don't see him out here either. So anyway, we're gonna get in that. We're gonna talk a little offensive line. We'll talk a little defensive line. We'll get in here and get the guys in here. Coach, I want you to be around with that segment when we talk to some of the young guys. We'll swap out Nick over there. We'll work the young guys when we come back. You are watching the Thomas Bachman Show live from Walk-Ons. It is another beautiful. I'd see how I drag this out so I can get to my own commercials there. That makes things go a little bit easier. We'll be back after this from Jason Hawk, Farm Bureau.
I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. Did you know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month? Our team is here to educate about life insurance and help you make the right coverage choices with the right agent this month and every month. Taking care of your family can be simple and something you can do today. There's no better time than now to learn how life insurance can protect your family's financial security. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, apparel and promotions in Pineville.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by two walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing.
And there we are back live from Walk-Ons. I am Doug Gann alongside of head coach Thomas Bachman, and we're joined by the offensive line captain, the center there, Cam Calderon. And Cam, welcome back to the show.
The one and only.
Always make sure you push that up a little bit more close to you. There you go. We talked before the break, Cam, about the progression of the offensive line. Tell me your thoughts on how you guys have grown from week one, the jamboree, to where you're at now, sitting ready for week 4.
We've grown a lot, just by going out there every day, working hard together, building chemistry, and keep working, and that just allows us to come closer as a group and as brothers.
How has that chemistry grown? Everybody talks about that, but what kind of a difference does it make that everybody knows their own role and their own spot on that offensive line? Don't you just get up there and block? That's a leading question because I know where he's coming.
Nah, it plays a big role because the offensive line is like a unit. It's a family, so everybody has to work together on the same page. And once we're working together and we're rolling, then it's hard to stop.
When you guys look over to the sideline and you get the play that's coming in, everybody knows their spot on there. Is there a certain play that you guys have that you go, what? That's what we'd have called. We know this is about to work, and you get a little smile on your face?
Any stretch play, outside zone plays and pass plays, we get our receivers the ball, and, they're big playmakers and get them the ball and let them do their work. We know that we can run any play, and if we're doing our job, we can make it work.
Speaking of any play and making it work, this was our cool play of the week. Tell me about this one. This was early in the game. What are you guys doing blocking here?
Oh, yeah, we're just trying to sell the stretch pass. Trying to sell the stretch play, and so we can get the defense to move one way and let our playmakers make their big plays.
A lot of movement on the offensive line. You guys are pulling. You guys are moving around on there. It seems like you're starting to mesh a little bit. I know it's early, and you guys have second season under you. A lot of you were starting together last year in new roles on there, but you have the addition of your tight end that comes up. It's making it a lot better week to week.
Yes, sir, it is.
What do you, Coach?
I'm sitting here enjoying listening.
Oh, look, he's
so
phenomenal.
Articulate, he's so intelligent. He's a 3-year starter for us. Been doing this a long time. He's played against a lot of people, and he's seen a lot of things. It's just funny. We knew he was going to be a good one as a freshman. I can still remember Coach Free saying, "This one's going to be just fine." And, the way that he progressed, and the things that he's done, and then to hear him, I don't know. I was just sitting here enjoying it. Sorry, I was trying to fade back in the background because I just enjoy it. But
and it's easy to listen to these guys and know what kind of a football IQ that they really have, and it's refreshing when they're able to come.
He certainly has a high one. He really, really does. And we put a lot on our centers, with the things that they're doing, the things that they have to get communicated in a short amount of time, because he's trying to communicate and I'm screaming, "Let's go, let's go, let's go," and it's probably not quite as nice as I'm making it sound right now.
That's why we don't mic the sidelines. Just know that's it. How is the conditioning? Knowing that you guys are going as fast as you are, how's the conditioning turning out for you guys? Because y'all are running just as much as any of the running backs and the wide receivers and the skill guys are.
Yeah, the conditioning is good. We get them moving fast and get the defense tired, and once they're tired, it gets easier and easier as the game goes on.
Just tell them to come to a Tuesday afternoon where y'all go about 30 straight plays and just getting verbally assaulted with like, sometimes it's not always easier on Friday, but there's a Tuesday afternoon or a Monday morning what they went through and it's tough. It's not 6 plays and get a new group in there. There are times where I look at them like, yeah, they were a little tired. They went 18 straight plays in 10 minutes, just line up and never complain, never bat an eye, just take, and I'm telling you, just meet every challenge head on. So it's a lot of fun, and we'll be back out there next week. And it's my favorite. I'm telling you, when I'm done, I'm gonna be like Coach Richard. I love Coach Richard. He'll come and watch practice. Right. And, I'm gonna go around and I'm just gonna watch people. When are y'all doing inside? That's when I'm coming to practice, and and it's my favorite time of the week.
After the meeting on Monday last week, when you guys did a little soul searching and the coaching staff challenged you guys, and you went out there. Did anybody expect the execution that you were going to have on Friday night? Because you guys were up 22-0 early, and then up 49 at the half, and it just everything seemed to work. Did you expect it to be that proficient?
We knew that if we worked all week how we said we're going to work, and if we play how we said we're going to play, that we're going to be as efficient as we want to be. And so going into the week, we knew that if we worked, we could be efficient like we were.
Indeed. How's practice been this week?
Oh, Monday, Tuesday, practice is challenging, but that's all a part of the job and how we want to play.
Challenging, he says. Is that the way that you would define it?
Trying to, yeah.
Right.
I mean, we're trying to, it's certainly days where you're out there trying to get better, and there's a lot of different approaches, and sometimes, I don't know. There's got to be a sense of urgency created,
right?
And it's got to be pressure applied, and see who's going to respond under that pressure. And I think the kids are smart enough to understand that when the leadership is where it needs to be. And we have had groups through the years where when you turn it, you can feel some of the rhythm, like what's their problem, and it's been fun to watch this group of seniors and the way that they've embraced it. And I know some of the coaches have conversations with them, and they want that oppression. No, we prefer this level of intensity from period to period, from day to day, from meeting to meeting, where lines drawn in the sand. You're either about it or you're not. Right? Yeah. If you're not, you're going to get called out. Mm-hmm. You're going to get challenged. And the fact that they've embraced that, we'll see what we can do, because it's certainly going to continue to stay that way.
Yes, sir.
Indeed it is. You guys are back on the road tomorrow night down in Gonzales at East Ascension, looking for a big game from you, from that offensive unit. So good luck, and thank you for being out a part of it tonight.
We need it.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a few more players out there. This is the Thomas Bachman Show, and we are live from Walk-On, where we are at least I don't call it any other restaurant anymore. That really got after it. So we'll be right back.
Time for a red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. It's hot out there, and we want to cool you down with some great savings on your new AC unit. Right now, you could save on a new energy-saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Plus a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Just need a repair? We got you covered too, with $50 off any repair backed by a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our
See, that's what happens when the producer is me. That stuff happens like that. We are back another segment, and Coach Nick and I were talking after or during the break about how you get the offensive linemen down there, D linemen, and they're quiet and reserved. And and then and get you two guys in there, and things change, and the energy level ramps up a little bit. JT Lindsay, Jimmy Duncan joining us on here. Another big night for you.
Yes, sir.
That was your Player of the Week a week ago, and this time could have been, but we just can't let you be it every single week. Look, tell me about that offensive line that you're playing behind. Those guys are phenomenal.
Like magic, work like magic. They're working every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, hard work, open up the hose and everything.
That's what I'm talking about, open to close. That's exactly right. Jimmy, you're playing a little bit of defense out there as well, too. Come in and play some offense. I'll get that mic right up there. There you go. Tell me how that's going. When Coach Bachman comes in, he says, hey, look, this is what's about to happen. You go like, I don't know if I want to.
Nah, I like him very much because it makes me more versatile than my opponent.
What do you learn as an offensive player when you start getting into the mind as a defensive player? You're like, well, I know he's about to do this, so I'm going to go do this.
Oh, yeah, because when I'm a receiver, I already know what I'm finna do and everything. So when I get transitions to corner, I already know what they finna do, how they move and everything else.
How about the other side of it when you're playing on defense and you see a guy lined up there and you're like, okay, I've seen this and I know what's going on. Here it comes.
Oh, yeah, that's all about film. When I watch film and that transition to the field.
How much film do you guys put in? How much are y'all watching each week? A lot, yeah.
Outside of film practice.
Y'all just go home. And see, you can tell that makes a lot of the difference in there because you get into situations and you know, and you've told us before when you've been on here, it's like, well, I knew what they were about to do right there, and they did it. How does that make you feel? And what kind of trust does it put in your coaches saying, you know what, they've got us to this level?
You build a good bond with the coaches. There's way more trust and see more players on the field.
Right. What are your thoughts on that, on the way that you guys are prepared?
Oh, I don't know, really. It's just everything we watching. And once it come on the game time, we already know what's going to happen, and we know what we're going to do.
Who's tougher on you, your offensive coaches or your defensive coaches?
I'd say they both tough on me, but I just take it the same. I just take it like they both want me to be great.
We asked this question a little bit earlier and of Cam, and you guys, it's no secret, had a pretty good meeting last Monday. You know, and Coach Bachman and the other coaches came in and said, hey, you know, and there was a challenge that was issued to guys. You had some hard work in practice. Did you expect the execution level that you would have on Friday nights?
Yes, sir.
See, that's what Cam told us as well. That you guys, you went out there with that sense that we're going to go out here and we're going to do our thing. How difficult was last week?
Oh, last week was tough. That whole week, we were just trying to strive for greatness. We came out 0-2 our first 2 weeks, so that third week, we took it personal.
And see, and you know, you get Natchitoches Central looking at an 0-2 Ash team, and Coach Curtis talked about it after the game. He said, don't look at the record because Ash is not a 0-2 team. You play a Karen Crow and you play a St. Thomas More, and that's what leads to this. You got another team coming up tomorrow night, sitting at 0-3. But you can't look at that record either. They've played some ball clubs.
That's some heavy hitters.
They are, and probably one of the biggest teams that you guys have seen when it comes to size. What do you see in the film that says, you know what, we can do this, it's going to make us successful? Don't tell us what you're going to do. Just tell, because Coach Bachman will come running down here and get the headsets off of you. Tempo is going to do it. You think that you can get in endurance, maybe get to them?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about Tuesday practices also, how intense they are.
Tuesday. That's intense. Just coming out of flicks,
right,
straight into the team. It's fun to me. I like it better than the rest of the other day practices.
Where do you spend most of your time on the field at practice, offense or defense?
Offense.
Offense, yeah. And defense, you know, the addition of Mingo over there defensively has helped. And when you guys got that, I mean, you fly to the ball, but, you know, Mingo goes up and had a shot at an INT, and he missed it in the game last week. And, of course, you hear, but that's why they're on defense. I'm like, no, he's offense. That's not the way it goes. How is it set up? We got to get that first big INT out of you on there. I know you're thinking about it.
I feel like they scared to throw it to my side.
Oh, really? Yeah. They locked down corner already, huh?
That's why I just rather hit somebody. They scared to throw it to my side, I'm just go hit you.
Speaking of hitting and defensively, you got some guys that really come in and hit. Jason Blackwell, Aiden Walker. Those guys play. Does that help you with your intensity?
Oh, yes, sir. They bring the energy, and I like it.
When you're on defense, you come after him?
We never win each other yet.
You don't own it.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
They going at us in the little league.
That's I mean, you guys have grown up playing ball together, and it's as you lead the team, and you're doing that. You guys are both juniors, right?
Yes, sir.
So you see the senior leadership that's out there, enjoying your junior year, but knowing that, hey, we've got our time. Our time is coming up as seniors on there, but you guys are out there just enjoying things right now. How is it with that group of seniors, knowing what a freshman class you have coming up, sitting there and saying, we just get to go play ball?
We're going to have to take a big step and be a leader, because once that group guys leave, then that makes us step up.
Right. Well, and now, but in defense of that, it doesn't have to be classification that gets you as a leader. I mean, you guys go out on the field and you put the work in from play one to the final buzzer on there. There's not anybody that's going to say they're taking a play off, because, look, if you do that in practice, what's going to happen?
Right.
That's right. Or you'll be gone. And that's the thing. So you guys are in a good spot. You're able to come in there and just work hard. JT, when there's a seam on there and you hit that seam, I'm calling that he's gone, and there's like 5-6 people around you. I said, it don't matter. I said, they're not going to get there to it. When you see that seam and you see the goal line 40, 50 yards away, is anything keeping you out of there?
Touchdown. That's all I want.
We posted your 47-yard touchdown run, and it got about 7,000 views on one of our biggest videos on there. And so it's just when you see that seam, you know that you're gone on there. But you guys are all when Feaster's got you in the balls there in the seam, you're gone. When you've got there's nothing that you guys are having to pick up a tempo and do, because it's full speed ahead right away. How do you get it to that level so quick?
Practice. Yeah. Practice. We do it every day at practice. Tempo Tuesday.
We've talked a lot about Tempo Tuesday. Indeed. So tempo is going to be the key tomorrow night. You're going to go a little faster than you went the first 3 weeks?
We intend to.
I just don't see how that's possible. Because look, when we got Nick involved this year as our analyst, he's like, Doug, it's the second quarter before I get to say anything. I said, I don't care. They're going fast. We're going fast. So, guys, it's great to have you here. We're looking forward to a big game tomorrow night and looking forward to talking to you again soon.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy Duncan, JT Lindsay, doing things big for the Ash Trojans. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. One of these days, we'll be back after this.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
I'm Jason Hall with Farm Bureau Insurance. Did you know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month? Our team is here to educate about life insurance and help you make the right coverage choices with the right agent this month and every month. Taking care of your family can be simple and something you can do today. There's no better time than now to learn how life insurance can protect your family's financial security. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by two walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the number one.
Final segment is upon us. We are getting ready for, tomorrow night. It is a trip to Gonzales. It is the East Ascension. It is Alexandria. Programming note once again, and I hate to keep saying this, but our broadcast will be tape delayed in there.
Yeah.
I am going to post a link, though. That group that is down in Ascension Parish, they've got a contract on all of the live streaming down there, and we're going to work on some things through that. But there will be a link that's a free link that you're able to watch a pretty good broadcast. Ours will be posted the next morning, so you'll find out really what's going on in that big win tomorrow night for the Trojans. See what we did there. And you'll also see our cool play. You'll see our player of the week. But we will have that posted on there so that all of our fans are able to watch it at full time. Put it on that one, turn us up, and do it like the Saints do, right?
That's what I'm talking about, LSU as well.
Turn on the Trojan network here, and you'll get up to do it. But tell us what you see in that East Ascension team when you got off the ball out there.
Yeah, they're big. I mean, they're big all over the place, long and athletic at every level, from O-line to tailback, receivers, just long and athletic, big. Same thing on the defensive front, big, long, and they've played great competition, that's the thing. Is they're battle tested. They've certainly lined up against some of the best our state has to offer. And, we played them last year, and a lot of these same kids are out there playing that we played last year. So we've seen them up close and personal, and you see it on film.
That was a game we replayed this morning, actually, at 6 a.m. kickoff here. And it was one of those that jumped up 24-0 early on in that one. And then it just it turned into be a thriller, and it was a John Barajas pick six that kind of sealed it with a couple of minutes to go.
Yep, up 27-0 at halftime, and if we take the opening drive of the second half, we kind of put that fire out, and we don't. We don't go score, and they go score, and then we don't, and then they go score, and before you know it, now you're in a ball game.
That's right.
We had to put. But I'll say this: I do remember when we had to have the drives and put them together. We did. Datlin
it was a 6-point game. Yeah, Datlin Cunningham was all night long.
Some big moments and made some big plays when we had them, and that's certainly what you have to win those type of ball games. And tomorrow night will be no different because they certainly have the players in a lot of spots to give you some fits and challenge you.
What's the most challenging thing you'll see when your defense is out there?
Just sheer size. I mean, it's a lot of massive humanity but they're good at receiver too. I mean, the number 8 kid I remember from last year.
Right.
He was a good player last year. A couple of overthrown balls where he had an opportunity to make some plays last year. And, he catches a big double move last week against Destrehan for probably 65, 70-yard game.
Had the lead on Destrehan for a while in that game,
7-0
too.
at halftime.
Right.
Destrehan was able to take the opening drive. First two possessions.
Destrehan, Zachary, and West Monroe were their three opponents. That's as tough a schedule as you guys have had, without a doubt.
I think somebody said it's somebody was talking to somebody in Baton Rouge said they have the highest strength factor when you look at some of that stuff. It's a little bit early. I feel like ours is pretty high too, but theirs is the highest in the state.
Well, it's the same thing as last year, though. You were two very evenly matched teams, and you both go into it with 2 wins and 4 losses in there, and now you got win-win between the two of you, and you throw those records out the window. Somebody told me, Brett was going up northeast to see. The big game that's up at North.
Weston Lafayette Christian.
That's the one he's going. He said that may be the game of the year. I said, don't overlook that one down in Gonzales. that's going to be a battle at either end of the state.
Well, you know, if you're a competitor, and we talked about this afternoon with the kids, this is the biggest game you're ever going to play because it's the next one.
That's right.
You know, the one that you're involved in is the biggest one, and we've certainly prepared that way. You know, certainly taken that approach of the importance of what it is. A trip like this is very important. Well, 9 times out of 10, you got to make a trip like this in the playoffs at least once, no matter where you're seated.
Right.
And you know, there's a lot that can be gained from it leading up to the game, and then ultimately how you handle and there's a little bit of different. You know, the stadium is in the middle of town, from what I understand, and you know, so we've got to manage some of that. There's only one locker room, so we have the locker room for a little while, and then they show up. Now you're out of the locker room, so managing the approach to the game. And you know, making sure we're locked in and focused, and all the other stuff is not getting too much of our attention, that we're ready to go is certainly a focus of myself, and will be our staff tomorrow. That you know, let's keep the main thing. You know, with all the moving parts that'll go on when you travel and play in a situation like this.
Hey, Coach, with what I've seen over the first 3 games, they like to run the ball. They like to possess. That's going to probably limit your offensive possessions, you know, possibly. Do you have something different in the game plan, or are you just still going to go with your, you know, the wide open the way you guys go?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to play what we do.
Good.
I mean, we're always tweaking things the way that we have to you know, what you see on film and how you game plan for it, and what you add and what you take away. But, you know, the core of what you do, always, you know, I don't think that you can constantly be changing the core of what you do and be any good. You know, repetition makes you better. So the core of what we do, and then the complementary plays and the plays off of plays, you know, based on the structure and, you know, the things that you see, you know, will play a huge part. If you get an opportunity to, you know, take advantage of some things, you know, off of the core of what you do. So, you know, I don't know if that answers your question, but, you know, you got to be who you are, and that's we've been doing that, you know, for, you know, these kids' whole career, and you know, since we've been here, there's a lot of flexibility within our system, but it is a system, and we're not going to get away from that.
Not to put undue pressure on you, but so the guy that has my job, and in Gonzalez and I are real good friends. We collaborated on a lot of things, and I may or may not have expressed to him that we won that game last year, and that we were coming back to his town this year. There might be a little back and forth going on there, so I'm going to need us to go in and take care of business.
We certainly want to do our part for you. We certainly want to do our part, and I'm ready to get back out there tomorrow morning, you know, with the kids in first hour, and do the things that, you know, we do during first hour, kind of wrap things up, you know, as far as finalizing the plan, and just, you know, one last time where we're running through the things. I mean, we'll be full go in the morning. You know, as far as all that's concerned. And
without giving any secrets, what does a game day like that, when you travel 2.5 hours, what does?
Well, you know, the thing, usually when we're traveling, you know, you're not having to get over the bridge, you know, so when you have to get over the bridge, you know, we would wait until the end of the day, pull them out, eat lunch, or eat pregame meal at our place, and then get on the bus and try and make it to the other people.
Can't do that.
You can't do that trying to get over the bridge in Baton Rouge. So we're going to leave, you know, somewhere between 12 and 12:30, go down there, have pregame meal, get over the bridge, have pregame meal, and kind of give ourselves some time on that side of it, you know, where we can roll in. You know, the goal would be to be at East Ascension at the place where we're playing, somewhere around 5 o'clock, give or take a couple of minutes, where give us plenty of time to get dressed, and next thing you know, you're out there and you're rolling.
Well, it's been an exciting first 3 games, and we're looking for nothing less than that here in week 4. I think we wrapped up that Natchitoches Central big win. Congratulations to our Quibidos Player of the Week. This week was Aiden Walker. Had that big fumble recovery, was all over the field, didn't lead in tackles, but it's the intangible things throughout the game that Aiden Walker does.
No doubt. It always doesn't show up on the stat sheet. You certainly want it to show up on the stats sheet, but, you know, we spend a lot of time, like, you know, sometimes the guy that makes the tackle doesn't make the play. You know, it's the job that you're doing, you know, whether it's taking on double teams and eating it up, or, you know, forcing the football to a certain, so that the guys that are unblocked and are, can make plays. And, he certainly does a whole bunch of that for us. He's an emotional leader, vocal leader. And, you can only be those things if you're being a leader that leads by example. And he certainly sets the tone every day with the way that he shows up and works in the weight room, works at practice every single day, tell the kids, love's freely given. We love you, but your respect and trust is earned. And he's certainly done that through his career at Ash.
Well, we are looking forward to an exciting night. We will go on the air tomorrow night at 6:30. You'll only be able to listen to our broadcast, of course, until Saturday morning. But I am going to share a link for everyone out there, and I invite you to watch the game tomorrow night. You can catch our broadcast of it Saturday morning sometime and hear the true call of how Ash won that game tomorrow night. See, I'm building up, Coach. No pressure that's in there. It's been a great first 3 weeks of the season. We're in week 4. Can't believe it flies by just like this show.
Goes fast, doesn't it?
It really does. That's going to wrap it up here from Walk-Ons. Another beautiful Thursday night. Of course, Nick, appreciate you being out here as always on there. Coach Bachman, the time that you take away and your family and they came out here, it's great to see this entire family.
Yep, this is fun for us. Immediate family, extended family. Our football family, our Ash family. You've been a great addition to it.
Appreciate it.
It's been fun.
And those of you watching at home, we enjoyed it. So we invite you next week. Come out. Think the weather might break. We might be able to get outside next week.
Okay.
This is the furthest that we've gone before I think we were outside the entire year
I'm
last
gonna do what
year.
you tell me to do.
You go show up, put the headset on, and go to work. That's going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for tuning in. Whenever it was, if it was live, if it's in tape delay or whatever it was, we appreciate you doing it. For everybody that made this possible, I am Doug Gann. God bless you all, and good night.